today we're going to be replacing the camshaft sensor. The reason why we're replacing it is because we have engine stall, poor performance, and then we have a check engine light for p0341. Now just keep in mind, make sure that it's your wiring that's not damaged and that it is your sensor. Now I would try to recommend going with OEM just because it's more responsive and you will have a chance of it being defective, because it's not, I mean, it's not that hard to get to, but I mean, it's a little bit of work and you don't want to waste your money on a gasket. So that's why I would recommend getting one from the dealership so you don't waste your time on that. But if anything, just go ahead and hit the thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and then hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And then we'll go ahead and start this video after the intro. So right here, this is what I was talking about that everybody forgets. So this always builds up a puddle right there. Now that always leaks a lot. So just the seal, just this plastic piece right here goes bad, doesn't hold in the seal. So for the new one, we'll just put silicone on it, and then so we're going to be taking off, pretty much there's going to be a whole bunch of 10s. So we'll just, this guy, we can just pop this off with our hands, and then we'll just slide this back as soon as we pop out the valve cover. Take off the oil dipstick. We're going to go ahead and move the wire harness a little bit just to get it out of the way, and then take off the ignition coils. Now you don't need to mark these. They don't need to specifically go in a certain order. You can mix them around, so don't worry about that. So pretty much all the bolts that we're going to be dealing with is 10mm, nothing else. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off right now. If we need to move anything out the way, we can do that. Don't forget to lift this guy right up. So I'm gonna take off these two because this guy's hitting out, so I'm gonna pull it over this way a little bit. So we'll go ahead and take off. There's this 10. And then the 10 right here. Now we should have easier access. This guy should just come right off. A little bit pain in the butt to take off, so I popped these clips right under. You're gonna squeeze from this side right over here, so you're gonna push in this way and push in that way using like a little L pick, just like something like that, so you can squeeze in and squeeze the clips. Fortunately, as I squeeze those in, the tabs broke, so it's just little old plastics, but it's not the end of the world. That gave me a little bit more room to lift up, and yeah. So next thing, what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna take off that one 10mm, and then we're gonna take off the other 10mm that's right there. So there's gonna be two bolts that are holding that in, that I could see of right now. So yeah, just two bolts, and then we have this plug right here, and then this, you just literally squeeze this guy right out. Now what you can do is to check this. This should be right here. This is going to be your 12 volts right here on the left side. This is the wire in the middle is going to be your 5-volt reference, and then this is going to be your ground. Make sure that all those are good, and then once you get those, then you're good to go if the wires check out fine. One bolt that's right there, so we got to take that one off. Didn't see that. And here's our camshaft sensor. So we're gonna go ahead and just pop that guy right out. It's gonna be one 10mm that's holding it. Now make sure you don't drop that 10mm, because if you do, you're gonna make your life more miserable than what it already is. So here's the sensor. So that's how it would exactly sit right there. So right there, that's how the sensor would mount, and it would be riding off the sprocket itself. So that's where it'll be getting its wave signals from. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and install our new sensor. Make sure you do not drop this bolt in there. If anything, I would recommend you putting a rag right here, just because if you do drop it, like I said, your life's going to be more miserable than what it already is. So we're going to go ahead and put this. There's a little notch right here. Make sure that goes on top of the hole. So I got the sensor in its hole. You got this. We'll go ahead and just thread this in by hand. So that's how the sensor should look like when it's in its hole. That little indentation right there. Make sure that it's in there, because if not, like I said, you won't get a signal. And also another thing too, one time I came across this, I thought you guys should know, that I was getting a mixed interference, and it was because a whole bunch of oil was actually on the cam itself, because of the camshaft seal was actually leaking all over the place. And I actually cleaned that up, and actually the car was actually running better. So just so you know that, just in case if you guys are having some issues. So if you see that, make sure all the debris is clean and that there is no debris on there. And then when you tighten this bolt, make sure you do it hand tight, because we don't want to damage the sensor. So when looking at your bolts, the one that has a larger indentation, so you see how that one sits a little bit more, this one's actually going to go on the bottom, and then these two are the ones that are going to be on the side of the timing cover. Alright, so let's say if you're having a hard time with that bolt, you can actually use a magnet to guide it in, or you can actually put silicone on the bolt itself, and then that'll actually make it stick to the socket. So basically you would put the silicone right here, and that'll make it stick. We'll go ahead and do this for that method, just because I don't want to risk it. You don't need to put a lot, just literally put a little. Just right there, just 2 dabs on opposite sides. Then we'll just stick it like that, and then you can just spin it around on the opposite sides, and then you see right there, like how it's not falling off. So that'll hold it in place, and then we'll go ahead and insert it. So when I'm tightening this bolt right here, I'm putting my finger to lock this guy in place so it doesn't come back. Just so make sure it's fully seated in and you're good to go on that. Then we'll go ahead and plug this guy right back in. Make sure you hear it clip, and then we'll put the plug right in there. It's good to go. The next we have these the tube seals. Now basically we're just gonna pop these out with the pry bar, or you can actually use a flathead. Now you want to make sure you kind of dig in right inside. Make sure you're on not on the lip of this, but on the bottom of the hard side of the inside seal, and you'll just lift right up and it'll come right out. So you want to lift like kind of like right there. You want to try to get it at least close as possible, just like that, and you can pick those up and then they should come out pretty easy. Now once in a while it might be on there pretty tight, and if you have to, right here there's these little indentations. You can get a flathead screwdriver and then tap on it with a hammer, and you'll break these off. So these will bend. They're metal, like they have metal, it's like a metal ring, and they're just covered with like with rubber, and then basically you'll just pop these right out and indentate them, and then just pick them right out. So we'll just keep doing the same thing for the rest. Now we need to clean up our area with brake cleaner. I have this is full of brake cleaner. You can use a rag, and then you'll just get the rag right there, and then you can use a flathead screwdriver with the rag, and then just put yourself right in there and just clean up the inside groove just like that. And you want to get all that dirt that's right in there, so you just want to keep doing that. Just probably do that a few times until it's nice and dry, and then we'll do the same thing for the tube seals, and then I'll be right back. Then we're going to go ahead and clean up the area that where the mating surface is going to be at. So we're going to obviously spray brake cleaner on our rag. We'll just wipe down this area. We want this nice and clean. Here's the part number for it. It's going to be 12513 P72003. And I got this at Honda. It's about like almost 20 bucks. So here's the clip, and then here's the O-ring. So for the other one, we're just going to go ahead and pop it out with the flathead screwdriver. I want to do this right now without having to take off anything. So just in case if I break this, I don't want to do the whole re-step again. And if I have to pop this guy out, then I'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and do this. So right there is the tube seal. Now just be careful nothing breaks inside. So we'll just go ahead and pry in between that. Just pop that right out. So far so good. And then yeah, you can, as you can see, let me go ahead and clean that up. That the seal is starting to flatten, so it doesn't have any more of like a round shape just like this one. I don't know if you can see that little roundness. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up the area with brake cleaner. And then also for this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of silicone on the O-ring just so it lasts longer and that it doesn't leak. So I just want to be on the safe side on that. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put our silicone on here. Like, I mean literally like a light coat. So we're just gonna make sure. Okay, now our area is cleaned up. Oil is going to keep coming out. Just make sure you touch the outer ring and not inside of it, because then it'll come out faster. We'll just go ahead and seat this guy right in. And then we'll let that cure for about an hour's time before starting the car. So the longer you let it wait, it's going to seal better, just for the silicone part. So right here's our mating surface, and we need to make sure this is the most key point in putting in this gasket. There's going to be 4 points where you actually need to put silicone on the cylinder head. So there's going to be one right here on the opposite side of the little mating corners, and then same thing. So we're going to do right there, so right in between there, and then on the opposite side at the ending right there, and then right there too. So we're going to do all those sides, and now we need to make sure that they're clean. You can use a flathead and just kind of pick at it, or you can use a blade. I like using the flatheads because they're actually pretty easy to clean up everything. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and clean this up. This is how you would pretty much do it. And if you need to, you can use a wire brush. Now the top piece, you don't really need to put silicone. You just only need to put silicone on this bottom piece right here, of where this, because basically it's like a mating surface, and that would cause a seal point, and that's where oil can escape. So that's where we're gonna seal that. Here's the gasket. Here's the part number. It's a complete set. Comes with the spark plug tube seals and the grommets too as well. So we're gonna go ahead and put in the tube seals first, and then put on this. We'll put on the grommets into the bolts, and then but VS 50, 60, and then 6R. So that's the part number. Alright, so with the set, it comes with two different type of tube seals. The ones that are in the bag, where you can actually squeeze the side, we don't need those, so you can toss those. The ones that we're actually going to need are the ones that are hard. So we're going to go ahead and put in our tube seals. Now you can do this only one way. I mean, you can put it in two ways, but the one with the indentation, like where you see it's open, that's actually going to be facing down, and so the one right here is going to be facing up. So we're going to seat these guys right in, and you can actually push them in with your hand if you got some strong hands, but we're actually going to hammer it right in. Now I'm using the bottom of my mallet. You can use the same thing as the metal part, but just as long as you don't damage these. And then once you're done, just go ahead and lubricate these in, and then we need to make sure that they fully seat in. So that the reason why I'm lubricating these is because so that they can slide in more easier. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the rest. So now we're gonna go ahead and replace the grommets. Now these guys, you can cut these with some pliers right here. So you would cut this piece or use a blade to cut them right out. So right here, basically we just cut this. I'm only going to show this on one. The rest are still good. I just want to make sure that you guys see this. So we'll just cut that right open, and then just keep cutting it open. Now we'll cut this lip, pull this right off, and that should come out pretty easy. So just like that, we'll yank that out, and then we'll just toss that to the side. And then for the new one, what you're going to go ahead and do is that you're going to dab this area of oil. Make sure it's lubricated. This is a little bit oily, and then you'll just kind of like, as you're going to press a needle, you just do that, and then just clip those right in. Make sure you inspect the area, make sure nothing ripped. The other ones are still good. This thing's been replaced. I just had to replace the cam sensor, so that's the reason why I'm only doing this. So the other ones are still going to be the same, but again, they just recently been replaced. So Now we have our whole area cleaned up, and so we're going to go ahead and put this guy. Now the guys with the little indentation, they're going to go over here, make sure that they are seated in correctly. And make sure that this is pushed in. Now if you're having trouble of this thing falling off while you're installing it, what you can do is put silicone on this, let it sit. So you'd basically lift this right up, put silicone in here. Not a lot, just a couple dabs. You know, you'd probably do one every 5 inches. So you'll do one right here, right there, you know, and so on. You'll do it all around, just so you know it doesn't fall right off. Then you'll go ahead and clean out your edges right here with brake cleaner, because obviously that's going to be our mating surface on there. We don't want no oil. We want it to be very clean. Now right here, there's going to be a little hairline crack that you can't see. If I can get that to focus, yeah, you can see it right there. Now what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to do this on all the 4 corners. There's 4 in total, so there's one right here on the opposite side of that, and then where the camshaft is, on the where the camshaft sprocket, where the timing cover is, I'll show you right there. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy in there and then apply the silicone. So that's a good amount right there. That's a little bit more than what I should go. And then if you're having a hard time getting in certain spots, what you can do is kind of like dab it with your pinky. Obviously that's your skinniest one. And then just hit that corner. And then same thing for here. This is where the timing cover is. So, oops, finger slipped. So we'll put that right there. As you can see right there, right there, right there, and then right there. So we're going to go ahead and put on the valve cover. Putting on the valve cover, let it sit for about 2 hours. You want the silicone to at least cure, have a cure time so it could last longer in the future. So if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions on this, and then hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future, and thanks for watching.